Have you ever seen, and I'm including Kareem in this, a player this deep into his career play like LeBron James?
There's only been maybe two other guys, like you said, Kareem. Before Kobe got hurt for the Achilles, he was like this, of course, and of course Michael Jordan. So yeah, this is like that would probably be the Mount Rushmore of those four guys: Kareem, Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. At this stage of their career, 17 years in, the man is a physical freak. He just doesn't do this because he's talented, Max. He puts the time in. I try to preach this to young players today. I said, you guys want to extend your career and be productive well into your 30s. You got to do what LeBron does, man. This man doesn't take a day off in the off season. He is a workout fiend, and it pays off. That's why he's at 35 can play like he's 25.
Yeah, and there's some luck involved. Like, I don't care how talented you are. To play like LeBron James at any point, you have to put in incredible work. But like Kobe had treated his body like a temple, and yet eventually the Achilles just went, right? Like, he wasn't built physically as big and strong as LeBron. Part of that's just luck. Kobe took great care of himself, and eventually something beyond his control snapped. Kareem, with the college play and everything, played at a high level maybe as long as LeBron, but in the pros, by his 17th season, was not in the MVP conversation anymore. And Jordan, by the time he was 17 years in, he took time off, whatever, but he didn't even play 17 seasons. But when he was 40 years old and with the Wizards, which would be like the similar number of NBA miles, was clearly not the same player. I don't think there's ever been anything like this, Mike.
Jordan is 35. I think he won his last title at 36. So at 35, he was still playing at this level. You're right. By the time he came back at 40, he still could drop 40 on you, but not consistently like LeBron does, of course. But at 35, Jordan was playing at this level. But you're right, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, and Kareem. Even at 35, Kareem used to give guys 40 points every now and then. But you're right, he wasn't the MVP conversation like LeBron is. But, yeah, LeBron is just a freak, and we need to just appreciate him every time he's on the floor.
Michael, if you have a teammate like Rondo, are you looking at him like and you were a team guy, like you were the #1 overall draft pick. In Portland, you were giving him 20 and 12 on average. Like those were your season averages. And when you get traded to the Lakers to back up Kareem, you were happy because even if you weren't going to be the man on that team, you got to be part of a championship culture. But not everyone is like that. Some guys may look at Rondo and be like, damn, if he can do this in the playoffs, why can't he do this in the regular season? How do you view Rondo and this magnificent ability of his to elevate when you need him most? Is there any thought like, why can't he do this in the regular season? Are you just happy he can do it in the playoffs? And to what do you attribute this ability?
He has moments like this in the regular season, Max. It's just that nobody pays attention to it that much because it's the regular season. This obviously gets magnified a million more times when you're in the playoffs like he's doing now. And the fact that Rondo's playing at this level does not surprise me. He's a tough guy. He's a competitor. He's an NBA champion in the past, so he knows what it's like to win a championship, to play at this level. He's been there, done that. So to see him step up and produce like this doesn't surprise me. It might surprise other people out there, but he's not going to be out there for 40 minutes, but he's going to have big moments and big games because he's not afraid of the moment.
Michael, he's playing defense on James Harden as well as can be played. And then he's dropping, he's hitting shots and setting up teammates on the other end and giving them scoring when they need it most in the fourth quarter. Like, I'm trying to think of a guy, because like Robert Horry is one thing. He has to hit shots and grab some rebounds and stuff. But to be a point guard and do what Rondo's doing, I'm trying to think of an example of another guy, because I disagree. Regular season, I watch Rondo, and every year I'm like, okay, fine, finally he hit the wall. He ain't going to be able to do it in the playoffs this year. He's just not good anymore. And then the playoffs come around, and every time he's in them, he's like, oh, sorry, Rondo. Like, that's a different kind of cat. I can't think of a guy exactly like that who's able to flip it like that.
I can.
And I know he's not that old. He's 33. Who else?
You have a short memory. Remember Kobe Bryant's backcourt mate all those years? Derek Fisher. Big moments in playoff games, man. He would knock down big shots. He played defense. I would hound guys on defense like he was Patrick Beverley. Derek Fisher was as tough a competitor as you could ever want on your team, man. He came through in clutch moments for the Lakers in those 5 championships.
He did, but Michael, I thought he was more or less the same player. Just he could be the best version of himself in those moments, but he was still a good player in the regular season.
Rondo. Rondo, you acting like Rondo's.
No, I don't. Okay, we just disagree. No, I think he's a stiff in the regular season. I got to admit, I think he's terrible. Every year I watch him in the regular season, I go, damn, he's lost it. And then the playoffs roll around, and I have to apologize. It's like, okay, this is a different guy. Michael, you're really going to say after he didn't play like this in the regular season. The defense wasn't good. The shot making wasn't there.
No, man, I go to every game, and I've seen Rondo have some big games. No, he doesn't do it every night like he's Damian Lillard. What do you want him to be, Damian Lillard? But I've seen him.
But in the playoffs, he is. In the playoffs, he consistently is an all-star, Michael. What, are we going to ignore it? It's true.
He elevates his game in the playoffs, but I've seen him have big-time games in the regular season too, Max. Just that you are on the East Coast. You're asleep at 1 a.m. You don't see the Laker games as often as I do.
Not as often as I used to. That's true when I was in
Exactly.
LA. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.